Pakistan is facing a growing financial and diplomatic crisis as rising external debt obligations coincide with strained relations with key allies and a failed attempt to assert itself as a global mediator. Well, what began as an ambitious move by Pakistan in order to position itself between the United States and Iran has instead exposed the limits of its influence and deepened its economic vulnerabilities. Notably, at the center of the crisis is an urgent repayment demand from the United Arab Emirates. Islamabad is required to return $3.5 billion in phases within the month after Abu Dhabi declined to roll over its loans, a practice that it had followed in the past. Notably, the repayment schedule starting with $450 million followed by $2 billion and then $1 billion comes at a time when Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves are already critically low. And this move alone is expected to significantly strain the nation's ability in order to manage its external finances. Notably, the pressure does not stop there. Saudi Arabia is reportedly seeking clarity or repayment of $6.3 billion, signaling dissatisfaction with Pakistan's recent geopolitical stance. And at the same time, China has demanded $220 million in overdue energy payments. And together, all these demands highlights the fragile nature of Pakistan's reliance on external financial support and the growing uncertainty surrounding it. Amid the financial stress, Pakistan attempted to step into a mediator's role in the ongoing tensions involving the US and Iran, hoping to leverage its ties with both the nations and secure its own strategic interest, particularly safe oil passage through the Strait of Hormuz. However, the effort has failed to gain momentum. Iran publicly rejected any mediation role for Pakistan and refused to engage in talks on its soil, while proposed diplomatic meetings failed to materialize. Notably, this diplomatic misstep appears to have backfired. Iran showed little trust in Islamabad's intentions, while Gulf allies like Saudi Arabia and the UAE grew uneasy over Pakistan's perceived proximity to Tehran. Its defense ties with Saudi Arabia further complicated its neutrality, leaving Pakistan in a position where it struggled to maintain credibility with any side. Well, the economic consequences are also already visible domestically, as due to the rising global oil prices triggered by the West Asia conflict, Pakistan has sharply increased fuel prices. Petrol prices have surged by over 40%, crossing Rs 458 per litre, while diesel prices have risen even higher. And all these increases have intensified inflation, placing additional pressure on citizens and businesses and further weakening the economy. And in contrast, India has taken a more cautious approach, avoiding direct involvement in mediation and focusing instead on securing its energy needs and maintaining economic stability. Well, this difference highlights how strategic restraint can sometimes yield better outcomes than overextension. And Pakistan's current situation reflects the risk of pursuing ambitious geopolitical roles without sufficient economic strength or diplomatic leverage, and its attempt to balance multiple alliances while stepping into a complex international conflict has left it isolated and financially strained. And with mounting repayments, shrinking reserves and rising inflation, Pakistan now faces the challenge of stabilizing its economy while reassessing its foreign policy priorities in an increasingly uncertain global environment. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.